Hiya, it's Kia. Welcome to For Our People, a docu-series spotlighting how tribal nations across Turtle Island are strengthening communities through innovative healthcare, cultural revitalization, and community-driven solutions, showcasing sovereignty in action. We begin along California's north coast, where tribal nations are creating an indigenous marine stewardship area, blending traditional knowledge with modern science to protect ocean health and reclaim their role as coastal stewards.
In our creation story, we spring from the ocean. It is the womb of the earth.
The ocean, or the Singsong, as we say it in our language, is very important. It is a place to get food, a place to get materials for our ceremony.
Being coastal natives, it's about living with the land and having the stewardship over the ocean because it provided a way of life for you. Marine life in the ocean is key to our people. We would spend our time historically, you would be fishing, you'd be gathering the smelt, your salmon, crab, clams, mussels, seaweed, and that was all very important to our way of life, and that's how we were able to feed our people. So traditionally, the ocean is always provided for our people, and it's always a very important thing to ensure that the stewardship and everything is in good balance.
It's really important to have a healthy marine environment because tribes rely on the ocean, and they have since time immemorial.
But our oceans are in trouble.
We're definitely seeing impacts from climate change. You know, that includes ocean acidification, sea level rise.
I'll say that I've seen that change in my life, but we've actually had to shorten our beds to dry fish because the tides come up farther.
I remember a point in time, though, being young and the mussels were no longer safe to eat or collect or gather.
The shortage of certain species of clams, the butter clams, they're non-existent. They used to be plentiful right down here.
We're seeing warmer waters now.
When I was young, you couldn't fish longer than maybe 15, 20 minutes before your feet would go numb. That doesn't happen now.
With the global warming and stuff coming, I think you have the algae blooms, which we definitely know about in the rivers that are toxic to the salmon. We have been seeing those for the past decade in crab with the domoic acid.
There's a lot of changes in water quality and pollution. Recently we had a kelp forest die-off that was pretty detrimental here on the north coast that impacted a lot of other species that rely on kelp forests. Species are returning at different times than they have historically.
The runs of our surf smelt, they're running either later in the year, so even our whole seasons have changed a bit. I think it was 2009 when the state of California put in what was called the Marine Life Protection Act.
The state was interested in developing a network of marine protected areas throughout California. And through that process, there was no recognition of tribal rights. And so tribes on the North Coast really unified, really pushing back against the state of California.
The state put in marine protected areas all on the North Coast. There's one right here. But what we found out when the MPAs got established, there was no one around, no wardens to enforce the MPA. And so we took it upon ourselves.
The assertion of sovereignty in that, making that statement, this is what we're going to do and we're going to steward this. We're not asking for the state's approval. We're taking it in our own hands. And I think that's important because, like they say, you're only as sovereign as you act. And you need to assert your sovereignty as a tribe